I got chocolate pudding. I got chocolate pudding. Hello, friends. Can dessert be comfort food? I certainly think so. And what's more comforting than a creamy, rich chocolate pudding? It takes you back to being a kid again. I'll tell you what's more comforting. Creamy, rich chocolate pudding that doesn't spike your blood sugar. And that's why on All Day I Dream About Food, we're gonna make some of the best keto chocolate pudding. So the first step to making any kind of homemade pudding is to heat some liquid. Conventional pudding usually just takes milk. I have a combination of heavy cream and hemp milk here. You could also use almond milk or coconut milk. So I have 1 1/4 cups of heavy cream and 3/4 cup of almond milk to make 2 cups of liquid. You can also make this dairy-free just by using coconut milk. So we're going to heat this on medium heat until it starts to bubble and simmer. And once you've got it simmering nicely, you want to remove it from heat altogether. At this point, you want to whisk in some sweetener. So I have 6 tablespoons, a mix of Swerve and allulose here. I have 3 tablespoons of each. You can use one or all of the other, but allulose tends to make it take a lot longer to set. So just whisk those sweeteners in until they're dissolved. And now we're going to use some of our hot cream to temper the eggs. Okay, so I have 2 egg yolks here, and I have 1 whole egg. And now we're going to use some of the hot cream to temper the eggs. Tempering refers to slowly bringing up the temperature of the eggs so that they don't curdle when you cook them in the pan. So we'll just whisk those. And we'll also add a pinch of salt to bring out flavor. And we will slowly drizzle about 1/2 cup of the hot cream mixture into the bowl. And that gently brings up the temperature of the egg yolks so that they aren't shocked when they go back into the hot liquid. Think of it like getting into a hot tub. You're not going to jump right in because it's just too hot and it'll shock your system. So you're going to slowly enter that hot tub and bring yourself up to temperature. And now, just as slowly, we're going to whisk those egg yolks back into the hot liquid. You just want to drizzle it slowly and keep whisking all through to mix it in nicely without curdling. There we go. All of it's in. Now we're going to whisk in our cocoa powder. I have 6 tablespoons of Dutch processed cocoa powder here, and I'm going to whisk it in till smooth. And I'm going to return the mixture to medium-low heat and cook until it begins to thicken. And it can take 4 to 5 minutes to really begin to thicken up. You want to be whisking pretty much constantly to keep the egg yolks from overcooking. And I recommend sometimes just taking your whisk and getting into the corners of the pan. So how do you know when the mixture is beginning to thicken? Well, the best way I can describe it, the whole thing will begin to just move more lazily and you'll begin to almost see the tracks from your whisk through the liquid. This is looking pretty good, a little thicker, and now we're going to help it thicken up a little more with the use of some glucomannan. You can also use xanthan gum, and this is about 1/4 teaspoon, and I'm just going to sprinkle it and whisk quickly as I do this. Glucomannan is a great thickener for things like puddings because it gives it less of the slimy quality that people don't love about xanthan gum. And once your pudding looks more like chocolate sauce and less like hot chocolate, you can remove it from the heat again. And we've got one final step here, and that is to add some butter and some vanilla extract. So I have my butter cut into 3 pieces. I'm just going to drop it right in the pan. That's 3 tablespoons of butter and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we're going to continue to whisk until the butter is melted and fully incorporated. Again, for dairy-free, you can actually use coconut oil for this. One little tip, if you happen to overcook your mixture or you think it's curdled, you can dump the whole thing into a blender and just blend and to smooth it out. So it's not something that needs to be thrown away. Now we're going to put it in dessert glasses. So this recipe makes about 6 half-cup servings of keto chocolate pudding. And you could leave it in one big bowl if you wanted, or you can pour it into all sorts of cute little dessert glasses. I've got some ramekins, I've got some nice little footed dessert cups, I've got these little things, and I also have these cute little yogurt jars, which are a nice way to do it as well. And now the trick is trying to pour it into them without making a mess all over my counter. I'm gonna give my pudding a final stir, make sure everything's well mixed together and smooth, and then we can start pouring it into our cups. Ooh, it's the drips that like to get away on me. Okay, fill this guy up. That's a good one. Ooh. And you can see here that I made a nice little mess as I was filling up these last cups, but that's okay. All you have to do is lick it up. So now our pudding cups need to go into the fridge for 2 to 3 hours to set. It can take a little longer if you used mostly allulose or all allulose for your sweetener. Okay, you guys, my pudding has set. It was in the fridge for 3 hours, and I really do love these little glass cups. They hold exactly 1 serving, and they remind you of like the pudding cups when you were a kid, except not plastic. When I serve pudding, I always serve it with a little whipped cream. So we're gonna do a dollop of whipped cream on top. You know, it's also nice if you shave a little chocolate over, or chocolate sprinkles. Let's take a bite. Oh, that consistency. I wanna hold this up so you can see. That consistency is so perfect. Oh, this stuff is magic. So good. So good, I need to sing and dance. I got chocolate pudding. I got chocolate pudding. Okay. Rich, creamy, chocolatey. You would never guess that this is low sugar and keto friendly. For this delicious keto chocolate recipe and so many more, please check out alldayidreamaboutfood.com.